Sat now. Welcome to our last day on this page. So continuing this challenge for now 90 days. I always cannot seem to get situated right off the start. Okay, here we go. I'm getting hearts over there, so I'm assuming the sound is good. All right, so first things first, we upped our game by extending our challenge to 90 days, so good job on that. We're changing to a yoga page specifically, so Sajdaram Facebook page. I'll include the link in a Facebook post. And we're also going to change the timing of the Facebook Live broadcast. So your practice, you may find the time where it works for you. I'm anchoring in the time for me. And if the time for me works for you, that's great. If it doesn't, that's great too. Take it as a sign, as it needs to be that way. So however it works out. And then it also changes from day to day, so don't get too attached to one way of things. So be kind of fluid with it. So we'll, the reason behind changing to noon, 12:30, is because that's the time of the fire. That's when our metabolism is at its peak. Well, at least I know for me, for the Pitta types. And if you're doing this challenge with me, chances are there's a little bit of Pitta in you. And Pitta is a category in Ayurveda. There's 3 categories that people generally have predominance in certain characteristics. And so I consider myself a fiery, spicy person. So it's very suiting. And then there's other components, but they might not be as dominant. And it is possible to have a complete balance and all the things operating and cycling appropriately, but there's nothing wrong. It's just sometimes we get out of balance. And so one way to practice self-care for me is to monitor how close am I living my day-to-day in balance with nature, in balance with my own rhythms. So that's part of self-care to me, knowing that I could take a nap between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. every day. That is a God-given gift to me to take a nap at that time as my digestion works. And that's why I feel sleepy at that time. Why do I have to continue to resist that instead of honoring that? If I created a life that allows me to do that, and sometimes it doesn't, sometimes there's other choices that, and activities take place. But for the most part, I am comfortable. And at times, and some days and weeks are looking forward to, my weekly flow and how and where I may study, or I may focus on some task, or if I may just rest. Lay down and integrate whatever it is my body needs. Let it have its rest, and not having those guilty feelings around it, or thinking like napping is bad. What? I personally had to get over the fact that my husband is at work working in the sun and the heat while I'm napping. There was a little bit of a guilt thing going on for years, and I even shared it with him, so it's just, you do what you gotta do. So I'm using a new oil today. It's very grounding, it's balanced, and the pull towards cinnamony and earthy sense right now is my body's noticing that the seasons are about to change, and so new routines have to be established. At least that's how I look at it. So there's got to be a transition that is felt within the body, with the practices, with the sacred rituals that you do, that confirm that there's a change happening. And I literally feel that part of me is dying, right, all the time, and then part of me is rebirthing. And this change is felt more and more, like I'm aware of it more and more. So let us tune in. I just wanted to give you the housekeeping points that we're switching the page and the time and explaining the reasons as to why. So we're going to be working at the time of the day where the fire is at its most burning point for some. And I'll check on the other categories, doshas, to see where their peak is. And maybe we'll rotate. I don't know. We'll find out. All right. I'm tuning in with my devotional way as it flows. If you care to join the way I do it, you're more than welcome to, but I encourage you to kind of do it with you. You don't have to be in sync if that doesn't work for you. And you could also just take deep inhales, bowing to yourself, bowing to your higher self, your teacher within. Let's take a few deep inhales together. And exhale. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Centering into your space, deepest inhale, lengthening the spine. And exhale, relaxing the shoulders. And let's take a deep inhale to tune in. Om. Adgure name, Jugadgure name, Sadgure name, Sri Gurudeve name. Adgure name, Jugadgure name, Sadgure name, Sri Gurudeve name. Adgure name, Jugadgure name, Sadgure name, Sri Gurudeve name. Deep inhale. Exhale. What I wanted to share with you about the tuning in that has been occurring to me for a while. Seek the experience. What does it feel like to you to connect? And that is why I feel that each one of us tunes in very uniquely. It's our direct number to, cosmos, universe, source, creator, God, whatever you want to name that. So seek to how it feels, how it resonates, what is happening or what are you feeling in the moment of when you're tuning in. It's much more than just uttering the sounds and closing your eyes and just keeping up and, you know, worrying about your voice. But like, no, I mean, those are important things. Of course, the projection of your sound, the voice, the focus, yes, the sensations in your body, but what is the overall feeling of it? How is it making you feel, or what feeling do you catch yourself emitting into your space, you know, into the space? What is your vibe giving off when you're tuning in? So just call your attention next time if you remember it. Okay, so we're continuing on with Fists of Anger. I'm still quick forgetful about the holding the mantra in the mind. So, you know, it almost feels good that we're continuing on, because I felt incomplete at the end of 40 days, not having kind of gotten into the habit of extending the mental focus on the mantra. And again, Har is a very appropriate mantra for this practice, for this Kriya, because Har also means I release, release, you know, and that's exactly what we're doing. So it couldn't be more appropriate. Not only Har is a seed of what you're planting, it's also a release. What are you letting go of? And so it's very appropriate in a way that, think about it, you're releasing something, you're making up space, you're creating space for something new to blossom, something new to come in. Whether you know what that new is, or whether you know or feel what is that you desire to, what you're needing or wanting to bring into your life, then put it out there. This is a perfect time to do that. So I'm kind of happy that we're continuing on, and then I'll be able to solidify that mental focus on the heart. Okay, so women on menstrual cycle with long deep breath through this Kriya, and pregnant women beyond first trimester, we're making sure that we're working the navel center. So make sure it inflating on an inhale, pulling it in forcefully on the exhale, but not too forcefully. You know, when you're kind of moving, pulling the belly button up and in, not just sucking the diaphragm and lifting the diaphragm. So just kind of practice that on your own at separate times to kind of refine that a little bit for yourself. You know, don't just plop on the mat and do this autopilot, right? We talked about it. It's a new date. It's a fresh date with the practice, with yourself, with parts of yourself that you haven't discovered yet, or maybe you've forgotten about them. So approach it with curiosity, approach it with newness, and always build up. Build your practice on trying to tune it, always tuning it to the right frequency. No, not tuning to perfection necessarily, but to that vibration where the download starts happening and your awareness expands. You become this sensory human being, or whatever is destined for you to experience. So mudra is here. All right, thumb is pressing on the Mercury mount. So my thumbs are pretty short, so it's a struggle. And through the Kriya, I periodically adjust. So as you'll see me open and re-squeeze, make those fists tight, right? So we're not puffing the cheeks, we're working the navel, gazing to the brow point, mentally chanting hud, 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 hud. And it's easy because on each hud, you're pulsing the navel in. This is the seat of your creation, your power, your will, right? So it's not a question about whether or not we have free will. I'm not going to get into that now. But this is the seat of your power. Power over yourself, not over anyone else. Power over your ego. So here we go. Good. And add the arms. And keep it up at your pace. I'm honoring my body with the moon cycle and doing long, deep breath today. But you stay rhythmically connected to the movement and to your breath. Mentally chanting mantra hut, Let your fists of anger do the work. Keep the mantra going. Use your whole body. Stay connected and grounded to Mother Earth through a gentle Mula Bandha. Last 30 seconds. Tune it up. Through the O-shaped mouth. Deep inhale, interlace the fingers, stretch the arms up, palms facing up, stretch the spine, pull the root log. Again. Last one, deep inhale. Inhale, bring your arms down. Take care of your body if you need a sip of water. And try to stay in this meditative space for a moment. Inhale deeply. Exhale or sigh. A few more times. And when you're ready, you may gently open your eyes, take a little bit of water. Before we settle into our meditation, to activate their inner conflict resolver reflex. How do we activate that reflex? Is through suspension of the breath. So my whole attitude today is preparation of school year. It's what am I gonna be, you know, devil or divine. You know, I got the skulls on one hand, crystals on the other hand. As the kind of role I play, you know, I'm a disciplinarian with the schoolwork, and then I just want to be cool and let them do their thing and be independent and self-sufficient. So today is fun stuff. And every year I'm always looking into myself. How can I do it better? How can I support my children better and not be the nag that I feel that I am? So, and yet another year upon us, and I ask the same question yet again. So, hands on the heart, on the chest, sitting up nice and tall. Eyelids are down 9/10, or eyes fully closed, focusing at the brow point. We work with the breath. I just invite you to really feel, just taking a slow, deep inhale for 5 counts. And just like that, smoothly, fully exhaling for 5 counts. And then holding the stillness, holding the breath out, holding the stillness of the diaphragm, of the abdominal muscles relaxed, being still within, still in the mind. And then again, a smooth, long inhale for 5 counts. And a full, slow exhale for 5 counts. And back to the stillness. And continue at your pace, at your intervals. Finish out your cycle. And then take a deep inhale with root lock. Suspend the breath. Exhale. Inhale deeply, stretch the arms up, pull the root lock. Exhale. Last one, deepest inhale. Shake the arms, hold the root lock. Shoulders, spine, hips, knees. Exhale. And come down with your arms to your breath. Witness any sensations. Notice your energy. And let's take a deep inhale together. And exhale. Again, deeply inhale. And exhale. One more time, deepest inhale. And exhale. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes. I don't want to open mine. Oh, that was hard. That was a good practice. So one of those things that came in is peace, feeling peace. And it was interesting that instead of, I have this little rhythm going, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, it's like little walls. And I changed from this waltzing to just P-E-A-C-E. I was spelling peace, and then as I was suspending the breath and holding, I just kept, it felt like the sound peace was coming out of my body, or just vibrating. So I thought that holding that stillness, that's what that stillness means to me, is peace. Okay, so maybe was useful or helpful. All right, we'll close the practice for today. Some of the things I was mentioning before is, as the seasons change and the cycles change, we want to create changes in our life to keep up with the season and mimic nature. And so some of the things I would like to do, I think I'm going to attempt to do, is taking vitamin C daily, taking vitamin D, or coming outside a little bit more. And I'm starting to do the cold showers again. So this is a perfect time to get used to the water temperature if you're not a cold shower kind of person. And it's not shower where you're shampooing your hair and stuff. It's a cold rinse, hydrotherapy. So hopefully that will also involve the dry skin brushing and some oil massage, and then cold shower, and then coming out and be ready to work out. So that's the goal. That's the season change. Of course, there's some dietary changes that need to take place as well. So if you're interested, shoot me a note and I'll share. But I encourage you to take the Ayurveda dosha test quiz and read up and study, and just study for yourself. Don't trust anyone, don't listen to anyone, just learn it for you, because then it's gonna make sense. You're gonna apply it. So let's close the practice with one long Sat Nam. Let's take a deep inhale together and exhale. Inhale deeply. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Beautiful. I will see you Monday at 12:30 noon Eastern time, or whatever time works for you. Sat Nam.